Hello, I'm Debbie, and I'm going to talk today about suicide and what I did when I encountered people that intended to kill themselves. At the end, there's the saddest story of all. Um, when I was a fifth grade teacher, I had the kids write an essay. It was just a normal thing that we did several times a week. And I took the essays home and read them. And when I came upon this one boy's essay, it said that he was intending to kill himself and he had the whole plan. As soon as I read that, I contacted the counselor from the school because I didn't have the boy's home information. And the counselor then contacted the parents. And then from there, they went on to get professional help for him immediately. Um, Also, in that same school year, another boy in the class came up to me almost on the last day of school and told me that this was the last time I was going to see him. And I said, "Are you moving?" And he said, "No." And he said, "This day, a year ago, is when my grandpa died. And today, I'm going to die." And so then, right away, I found out that he was intending that he was going to kill himself on that day also. So I went to the counselor, and she took over from there immediately. So that was great. Um, then fast forward a long time to when I was in Costa Rica recently, and while I was living there, I I was tutoring some students, and I had a student with me at the library, and he was like 17 years old, and something happened in the library. I don't remember what it was. The ceiling was falling in or something, and we had to leave. So we went to the park, which was just a block away, and we were sitting on a park bench, and I I was not really paying attention to the other surroundings that of what was going on, and I didn't speak that much Spanish at the time, and so we were doing our English class, and then the boy said to me, "Did you hear what that guy said next to us on the other bench?" And I said, "No." And I looked over, and it was one of the homeless that I knew, and he said he just said that he's going to hang himself from this tree. And so I said to my student, I said, "Okay, I have to do something about this right away. So we're going to have to stop the class. You're going to have to go home, and I'm going to take care of this." So I went over to the guy, and I took him by the hand, and I told him that I was going to get help for him. And so I held his hand very tightly, and I started thinking, where am I going to go? And so I knew that at my church, we had some psychologists. We had three people that had graduated as psychologists, and they were all young women. And so sometimes some of the women were at the church, but all the time there was somebody at the church. So I got a taxi, and we went to the church, and one of the psychologists was there. And so she met with him, she talked with him, and she calmed him down, and and made the situation totally better. And from then, um, he did not have any problems. I still knew him for 10 years after that, and he was fine. Another time, one of the expats who was in his 60s came to me and said, "Debbie, I can't take it anymore. I can't. I'm just so depressed. I can't do it. I can't take this life anymore. Um, I'm gonna kill myself." And so once again, I went to the church, and there was a different person that was there, and it was actually one of the daughters of the pastor, and she met with him, and she asked him if he wanted me to come in and sit with him too. And he said yes. So I did. I sat with them and I listened to what she said to him. And I heard the whole conversation and heard everything that everyone said. And then he turned out to be okay. And he went on with his life and everything was fine. So that was a great situation. Um, Another time in Costa Rica, I was on Facebook and Facebook Messenger, and a young teen that I knew in the United States um, messaged me and said that she was going to kill herself. And I was in Costa Rica and she was in the United States, and I had no idea where she lived or anything. And so I I knew that the town that she lived in, but that was it. So I talked to her, tried to console her and calm her down, and then I called the police in the United States for that area. And they went over there. They found out where she was and went there, and she got help after that. Um, but they contacted me and told me that she was all right. So that was a good thing. And then the last one is the one that really um, uh, was sad, because this was a person that I knew very, very well, and it was a young teen also, and I was in contact with her. I saw her all the time, and she didn't tell me anything about how she was feeling or that she had any thoughts about killing herself. I had no idea. And I was sitting at the bus stop and I got a call from her mother, and she said, "My daughter's in the hospital right now, and I'm in a different town far away, and I want you to go to the hospital and be with her. She just tried to kill herself." And I was absolutely shocked because I had no idea that she was even thinking that, because she was always really happy and fine when I saw her. And so I did go to the hospital, but since I wasn't a relative, they would not let me in. Um, it turned out that her mother also got in touch with one of her aunts, and her aunt did go to the hospital, so she was with her. Um, but afterwards, I talked with the family, and I found out that um, the social services department from Costa Rica took her to the state mental hospital to be examined. And from there, they said she was going to have to wait 5 months before she was going to get to see a counselor. And I said, "That's way too long. That's that's ridiculous." I said, I know some counselors. I'm going to get her an appointment as soon as possible." So I tried with all those counselors from the church, but they were all booked up. And so I asked if they knew some other people, and they did. So I got in touch with another person. I got her in for help, and I paid for that and continued to pay until with other counselors until she was able to get help with the hospital. And I went with her to the appointments and everything and made sure that she was okay, and she's doing really well. But if someone ever says that they're going to kill themselves, you have to take it seriously, and you have to try to get professional help as soon as possible. And I'm just saying that because now I know that this has happened many, many times in my life. It's come up with a lot of situations, and I know of some families that their loved ones have committed suicide. I know of a lot of military families, and civilian families as well. And it's a very, very, very sad situation for the families. So it's something important to do. Never take it lightly, take it seriously, and get help as soon as possible. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you coming by. And please like and subscribe if this has been helpful to you. And share with your friends. Thank you.